Hey guys, we're back again. Well, actually, this will be the first time, isn't it? I'm Gamer2Raggy, and I'm here with my friends, and we are today gonna play Palladium Fantasy.
Hey guys,
The
you know who I am.
yeah,
So,
but they don't know who you are, Frank.
Yes, they do.
well,
They know
like
who
you
I
just
am.
said
Let
his
me tell you.
name, so
Yeah.
That sounds good.
you know Frank if you've been going on my channel.
Exactly. That's right.
I'm gonna do
actually,
some P Connor.
actually,
I'm
no.
gonna do some P Connor. Shameless self promotion, broadcast gamers.
Yeah.
We
My
have
my the people that are
Thanks.
yeah, but the people that view my videos actually haven't learned my name yet, so you just revealed it to them. Thanks.
Ha,
Oh,
bitch.
shut up.
uh,
We're gonna be calling you by your name, son, bitch.
yeah,
I won't reveal your last name.
you
What's my
better
last
not.
name?
Maybe. Especially Frank, since he calls me by my last name all
We
the
have
time.
already done that
Yeah.
in a previous video.
Really?
We already said your last name, most
Mm,
definitely.
yeah.
Ha. You don't know, bitch.
But yes, if you guys don't know what Palladium Fantasy is, it's pretty much a fantasy version of Rifts without the MD system.
Yeah. Well, and it's basically our system. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
basically the system we integrated. There's no SD. There's no
Well,
MVC.
All Megademic was a tack-on system that they made.
yeah.
We just chopped it out.
Just one swing.
We took our shoved and let it hang. Yeah.
Because the Megademic system sucked.
Oi.
But we're not in that, so
Hey.
let's get to
Yes.
Connor.
I'm the host here. You shut up.
Well, I'm trying to get you to like get there, so you stop talking.
Shut up. Okay.
Let me
Um.
get past that.
Um. But yeah, like me and Frank have been doing this on and off for a little while now. I've never actually played a game with
We did
Broke.
2 sessions. This
Yeah,
is it.
as I said, on, off, on.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Really? Come on, let's
Okay,
let's define
to the
success.
actual game. To the actual game.
Can you stop
So,
making shitty puns?
as Frank knows, we're currently in a tavern of Thorian, a
Should
small
should we
village.
reveal
Actually,
like
I didn't
our
know that.
characters' backstories?
Well, should we? Do you want to reveal your guys' backstories to the
That can
people?
be revealed. That can be revealed later on. You don't have to just outright
Okay.
say it.
But Frank, you know that we're in the town because that's where we left off last time we
Yeah,
did our little game session.
like a 5 second thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, we walked in, fought around, went up there. That was when it ended. So all right. So
And they're currently with the quest. Well, he's currently with the quest giver of Ryan Snow. And I'll explain that as we go along. I'm not sure how to actually introduce your character, Michael.
don't
So,
worry. Just
Like,
go with the flow. Remember what he is, and you'll
um,
figure it out.
okay.
okay,
So, Frank, you're sleeping underneath the bed of Ryan. um,
wait,
and the
why are you sleeping
sun.
underneath the bed?
Because I can.
Yeah, he's small enough. He's able to do it. Well, there might be a slight hunch because he's so fat.
Oh wow,
Well, I'm not fat. I'm muscular. So
you're not fat, you're chubby. Big difference.
Hey, shh. But yes. As the night passes by, nothing eventful happens. Of course, you just hear the occasional bar brawl go off, and the sun begins to rise. And you hear Ryan getting out of his bed and suiting up.
okay. Yeah. Sure. I'll
Okay.
get up. I'll get out from under my bed.
Ryan turns to you and goes, "You slept in your armor?"
Looks straight down.
That must have not been comfortable. And like he starts doing like morning stretches, like trying to limber up.
Okay. I'm gonna take off my armor, put it backpack and then don my normal clothes like shirt, pants, boots, jacket, large brimmed hat.
Mm. Ryan turns. Yeah, as you do that, Ryan turns to you and goes, "Would you like to get some breakfast?"
Pull out a loaf of bread and tear off a hunk of cheese. I'm good.
He goes. He just shrugs at you and goes, "Suit yourself." And he heads downstairs.
Munches on cheese or something. Cheddar.
As you're munching on your cheese, you hear a rather like you hear like a bar stool break and Ryan shout out in pain.
Okay. Axe, shield. Gather the rest of my equipment, put it on my back, and then go down the stairs. I'm not leaving my shit behind.
So like you're did you put on your armor or are you just like carrying that in a pack?
I'm just carrying my shit gun with me.
Okay, so like you're just like in your civilian clothes, like going, "Hey!"
Yeah, I'm wearing leather jacket, light tan shirt, dark brown pants, work boots, and a large leather hat.
All right.
Or instead, yeah,
As you
and
come rushing down the stairs
with axe and shield in hand.
with axe and shield in hand, you notice that what actually happened was Ryan had the misfortune of sitting on a rather old bar stool and it broke underneath him.
Damn.
And some people are like just laughing at him, like giving a good pat on the back and just like having some fun with him. Like going, "Dude, I didn't realize you were that heavy."
Damn.
And like Ryan's like got a smile and just going, "Nah, shut up." Stands up and like he moves on to a less old stool that when he sits down remains firm.
All right, I'll take my shield and axe, mount them on the rest of my equipment on my pack, and then I'll approach him.
He turns to you, gives you a grin, and goes, "Well, good to see that. It's good to see that you decided to join me."
Yes, I enjoyed my bread and cheese. I'm full now. Thank you. You made me worry.
Sorry. This is a rather old tavern, actually. From what people have been telling me, it, like opened up almost 100 years ago.
I'm just gonna look straight up at the ceiling. Like, huh, Pops might have come here.
Maybe. And Ryan turns to the bartender, raises his hand, and the bartender slides him a mug of ale. And he flicks. And Ryan does a little flick of the coin to the bartender. Bartender catches it, looks at it, and he looks rather surprised. As he looks at it, and he goes, and after you see the surprised look on his face, like instantly like go away, and he shrugs and puts it in his pocket.
I'm actually going to ask him about that.
All right, ask him.
What's with the surprise?
He's just going. Well, at first I didn't recognize the currency, so I was originally assuming that it was fake. But then I remembered from like he's a relatively young man, a man that you wouldn't actually be expecting to be running a bar at his age. He's actually like 15.
How short is he? Is he taller
He's
than me?
he's at 5 foot.
Oh, damn it.
Um,
I can't put my face in
and
his and just compare our size.
like he,
Or,
from what you can tell, he actually seems to be rather mature for his age. He carries himself well, and he speaks rather well and plainly. And he just like goes, "I originally thought it was like counterfeit currency because like some of the symbolism is different, but then my pa told me about how some of the currency from the west has different writing."
oh yeah, different languages.
Yeah,
I face palm.
pa never bothered to teach me western human, so
Well, I wouldn't see a need to. We're in the east.
Well, like some of the ale we get, it's from the Western Empire, so
Scratches chin. Scratches large bushy beard.
he just like gives a shrug and then he goes on to serve the other tenants.
Okay.
If I can interject, about this time I'd like to stroll into the tavern and order a drink.
Okay.
Here you
Um,
go.
Frank roll.
Why?
Well, I wanted to see if you notice him.
Oh, okay. Just want to make sure I'm not rolling for something that doesn't even roll for me.
Yeah, I don't want it to be like he enters into the bar and then like you instantly like turn to him and go, "Who are you?"
Are you a spy?
And Michael, are you trying to like go unnoticed or is it
I'm
just
just walking in. It's more of um, I'm just walking in to get a drink
yeah,
and stay the night.
okay. You notice him, Frank. You notice how he's like a 7 foot tall man. He's towering over everyone.
Can I
Well,
describe what I
Michael.
look like?
Alright, describe.
So everyone, if you've ever played the video game Dishonored,
Oh God damn it! Is it fucking Corvo?
no, he's not Corvo. I look exactly like Corvo, but I'm not Corvo.
As some of you might know,
Well, I look
if you've
old Corvo, like
mm,
the one from Dishonored.
okay. In case some of you didn't know, if you haven't watched Michael's Riffs videos, he's absolutely obsessed with his old character Corvo.
Dishonored, needlessly, is probably my favorite game in the genre.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a point of obsession that I think is unhealthy.
yeah.
I was
It is
hoping you would
unhealthy.
choose a
I'm
different character.
I'm I'm gonna let him keep it. It's a different character in every other aspect other than name and look.
Yeah.
No, his name's not Corvo.
Well, oh yeah, yours like that
He
weird
just looks like him.
Bunulgi or whatever.
Bolnulgi.
Yeah. Don't expect me to say it right. Um,
Honestly,
but yeah, Frank, you turn and you
Bol.
see this very tall man. He's taller than everyone else in the bar. Like everyone else in the bar is like 5'5", and like even Ryan in comparison to most people is tall, but like in comparison to even Ryan, he's a whole head taller. And Ryan's 6 foot, by the way.
I'm not gonna like make any um noticing actions. Like I'm not gonna look towards him or anything. I might glance, but other than that, I'm not
Mm.
gonna pay much attention to him.
Okay,
He's just a lieutenant. All I did was just
so
steer ship.
how like what are you gonna order, Michael?
Um, what's cheap?
Let's see what he has.
Well, the 15-year-old kid just like goes, mm. He turns around and he like looks at the bottom shelf ales and he goes, "We have a thing called that we like to call the piss water,
Okay, what's the step above the piss water?
dragon vomit,
What's the step above that?
goblin breath.
That'll work. How much?
One goblin breath will be a single gold
Is this a
coin.
pint? Is this a pint or like?
It's it's a mug, like yeah, it's average medieval mug, so yeah, a pint.
Okay. So one gold.
Yeah, one gold coin, since you're going for the cheaper stuff.
And I'm just gonna down it.
It is cheap ale.
You notice that though it is cheap ale, it's very strong ale and it has a very pungent smell. Like you can obviously tell why it's called goblin breath. Like this is what you would expect if like a goblin like straight up
It is.
breathed in your face.
It tastes like goblin piss.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It's disgusting, but yet I down it. Do I need to roll for anything?
Do you down the whole thing?
Yes.
Yeah, roll a d20.
Four.
You're drunk.
Okay.
Like if you got a 6, I would say that you were rather tipsy. 10, I'd say you'd be perfectly fine. But yeah, 4, you're drunk.
All right, I'm drunk. So I'm gonna like stumble around. But at the same time, as I'm like stumbling, trying to stay up, I'm gonna ask how much for a night stay.
One night stay, that's gonna be 5 gold coins.
Okay, I spend 5 gold and I head to my room, or is it like bunks? Everyone's like in a thing.
Well, there's a total of 5 available rooms. Ryan and Frank, they got the second room, which has 2 beds, but for some reason Frank's decided to sleep underneath Ryan's bed.
I didn't
And
sleep under his bed. I slept under my bed.
oh, you slept under your bed. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um,
I used its underside.
yeah, but the room that you paid for is the room at the end of the hall, the 5th room. It has a single bed. It's meant for one person.
Okay.
The 4th, 2nd, and 3rd room. Like, yeah, second room goes
So
to
it's
frickin'
standard
Ryan.
room, but no chest, no wardrobe.
Yeah, no chest, no wardrobe. It's very minimalistic. You like got an end table and a bed. That's it.
Okay.
It's a closet.
Okay.
It used to be Grandpappy's old broom closet before it got turned into a room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
As you're
what?
stumbling about, you accidentally stumble right into Ryan as he's drinking his ale, and it sort of splooshes in his face. And he turns around and goes, "Hey, watch it!"
I
Shoulder on Ryan, or hand on
you know
Ryan's
what?
shoulder.
I'm just gonna keep moving.
Hand on Ryan's shoulder. Stop.
Ryan just like shakes his head and like goes back to drinking his ale.
Okay.
This won't end well for either of us. Trust me.
No, it won't.
Hmm.
Um, um, but yeah, I'm just
I'll
gonna slide
lean
out
on
of my
my
room
strength, but I don't trust it.
and lie down.
Okay. So you're just lying down in your room. Ryan's
I'll
just
probably
drinking his
try to
ale. What it?
sober up a little bit.
Okay. What are you gonna do, Frank?
I might sit in the bar next to Ryan for about a half hour, but then I'm gonna leave and go to the horse, my horse.
All right. After Ryan is done drinking his ale, like he takes his time with it. So about like 15 minutes later, he's done. He like stands up, turns to you, and goes, "Want to get going?"
Sure.
Okay.
Wait, I want to visit the smith first.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. He like looks at your armor and goes, "You got 1 or 2 holes."
Yeah, it's a little bit yeah. I'd
Yeah.
like to at least see if something is available. Hell, if I can at least use the anvil. Yeah.
Hmm. But yeah, um,
So yeah, I'll just head out.
Ryan just goes, "Okay, I'll just prep the horses, like make sure that they're fed and watered and ready for travel."
Don't mind if mine licks you. It's fine. Just means he likes you. I just called that someone in the street.
By the way, you pass the stables as you are heading to the Smith, and you haven't seen Ryan's horse yet. Um, Ryan's horse actually arrived by itself in the middle of the night, and like
Huh? My
it's
horse
it's
came
it's
back
a
to me.
it's a really it's a really well trained horse. It's actually, from what you can tell, a mare, and it's like pitch white,
Interesting.
and it's got
Um,
silver gray eyes.
Well, mine still is like the horse from Mulan. It's very intelligent. It's borderline human. It's just a coward, but it's goofy.
Yeah, like we had I made a joke that his horse could talk for a session. Then I went,
I
nope.
said no talking to borderline intelligence.
Yeah. Um, from what you can tell, this is like from what you can tell, since you've since you've like purchased a horse yourself, you can tell that is a very high end of the line,
Well,
very purebred horse.
I didn't buy this horse. I raised this horse.
Oh,
That
crap.
explains a lot.
All right, so roll a d20 to see if you notice that it's a high end of the line. very expensive horse. That
Pretty.
okay,
I wouldn't say
you.
pretty.
It's from what you can tell, it's a very beautiful horse, and it's not something that a typical person would ride.
You two play nice. I say that as I walk by.
So yeah, Ryan's tending to the horses. Frank, you're heading off to Smith, which is
About
just
how long is this taking for them to go to the down the street?
He's not going
well,
relatively quickly, so it's a stroll.
yeah, it just takes Frank 5 minutes from the tavern to reach the smithy.
Okay.
And when you approach the smithy, you know that it's like a open door, like very open smith. It's like the forge and foundry is outside, but there's also an inside portion with like weapons and wares for sale.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I'll walk inside.
Okay.
Set my pack at the door. Well, my packs. And yeah.
And you actually pass by the forge as you're heading inside. And from what you can see, there's actually a rather skinny elf that's doing the metalworking.
Huh.
And
How? This kind of, for a split second, there's a almost dumbfounded look, but then it disappears instantly. Shake my head and just go, "Hi, do you run this place?"
yes, I actually do. And he like waves in through the entrance to the actual store portion, and you see this rather halfway decent looking elf woman walk out, and like he wraps his arm around her and he goes, "I run the forge while my wife runs the shop."
That's good to know. I needed to know who to talk to.
So, do you need repairs, or are you looking for something rather fancy to buy a lady?
I was actually wondering, could I use your forge?
Sure, that'll be just 5 gold coins.
He drops 5 gold coins in his hand.
Hmm.
Start whistling the hi ho, off to work we go
If
from
if you need any
intro.
materials, just ask me and I'll tell you how much it is.
All right, good to go. You can instantly arms flex and strain the shirt. It's like yes.
Do you have the required materials to fix your armor?
No, I don't. I just need to know. I need to use. Think. Hold on. Let me check which skill may be applicable to actually tell what I'm going to need. Hold on. With recognized weapon quality work for telling what I'm going to need to fix this set of armor. Where the hell
Okay.
is it?
Sorry.
Mars? You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I was getting a little loud there. Um, hmm. Yeah, it'll work.
Alright. Rolling a D100. I have to make armor at 25%.
So I thought we were gonna go D10.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, 2d10s.
because it is more manual. I'm not going to get as many 90s.
Oh,
So
You
16.
got it.
I made it under. Awesome. Yes. Now I know what I need. So
how much do you need?
yeah,
From what you can
for the
tell,
skill.
all you really need is just like a single iron ingot. Well, actually, what kind of material is this metal made out of?
Stone.
So you're just gonna need like one ingot and some leather to replace the leather padding underneath it.
Okie dokie dokie. Alright. Just walk back up to the husband of the relationship. Sorry, my dog grumped at me. He's. I'm going to need a bit of leather and 1 ingot of steel. That's all I'll need.
All right. He taps his fingers to his chin and he goes, "That'll be 15 gold coins."
You know, hmm. How about a favor instead?
Sure. I actually need to make some deliveries.
Okay then. I almost forgot to write down the gold I just spent.
He he goes, "I'll tell you about the favor after you're done with your work." And he just goes, gets the materials and hands them to you.
Okie dokie dokie. All right.
All right. By this time, about an hour or two has passed. About an hour and a half has passed. And Michael, you are not as drunk anymore. You have a slight headache and you're still a little bit disoriented, but like you're not stumbling around like going,
So I'm at the
"Hey."
start of the hangover.
Yeah, you're at the start of the hangover.
You're just about to fall off a cliff.
All right, so getting up from lying down, and I guess sleeping a little bit, like half an hour off. He's gonna kind of grab his head, just kind of going start like kind of just like stumbling to wake up, and he's going to go to the uh, he's going to go outside the tavern itself, and he's going to wait. What does the town look like? Like, is there any signs that tell me like what's in what direction?
Well, the town is actually just like two rows of buildings, and you know what Riverwood looks like, right?
Yeah.
It's very much like Riverwood. It's
Okay.
just like there's a few more buildings and it's a little bit bigger.
So I'm gonna go. He's gonna realize that he's running low on money since he only has 60 gold, and he's gonna go try to find some sort of service, I guess you could say, to help with that.
And when you say service, I'm guessing not strictly legal.
Not strictly legal or tangible, just anything that he can get some money based.
Okay. Um, Actually, as you exit out of the tavern, you notice on a wall there's actually a bounty board.
Okay. And what's on the bounty board?
There's
What's the bounty board look like? Just a board
it's just like
bounties.
I say a bounty board, but really it's just like this little portion of wall that has like a bunch of like different help wanted or wanted posters on it.
Like fairy tales.
Yeah,
Okay.
sort of. But yeah, there's four jobs. There's a job of help find my missing cat, 15 gold coins. Um, Golden necklace gone missing, 25 gold coins. And there's a bunch of menial tasks, but the one that actually has the highest pricing is actually the bounty hunting poster saying group of goblins looking have been raiding farms recently, need help. And that's for about 110.
110 gold.
Yeah.
Damn.
Alright, I'm gonna take the necklace bounty and the one you just listed. The
Okay.
goblin one.
All right. The
And then I'm going to go to the stables area, if I can find that stable, whatever direction that's in. Um, I would like to
I'd
go
assume
there.
that's next to the tavern, right?
yeah, the stables is like pretty much right next to the tavern.
Okay, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna see if it's at all possible for me to rent a horse or something.
The stable master sort of thinks about it. He like looks to the sky, tilting to his head to the side, like going, I sadly all our rental horses have either been stolen or they're currently being used.
Wait, let me go. Wait a minute. They've been stolen?
Yeah, a few slavers came through recently and they harassed us and they sort of stole the horses as they went.
What direction did they go?
Oh, there's a reason why that like he just like goes, "Oh, don't worry. They've already been taken care of, but it seems they already sold the horses."
Ah, okay. What direction did they go?
And Ryan sort of like turns around at you and gives you like a smirk. Like it's a smirk that tells you, "Yeah, I was the one that already took care of them." Beat you to the punch smirk.
I'm gonna say, what's your problem?
He just shrugs at you and goes, nothing." As he like tends to his mare, like making sure like there's no knots in her mane and just like making sure that she's like well fed.
And then you see the other horse that's dopily looking at the other horse.
And it's a big old Clydesdale, which I do not
So,
even I can't
um,
even imagine how you mount that horse,
on the
Frank.
goblin bounty, did it say what direction of town it is?
Um
Or are you
the
just guessing a direction and hopefully I get there?
the let's just say like this is like a northern wall. Here's our series of buildings. Um and you're currently in a building over here. The bounty says that it's a cave to the northwest is where all the goblins are.
Okay, so it would
Oh,
be southeast, technically.
Well, you're currently here.
Okay,
Like,
so it's off, it's diagonal, okay.
yeah, back diagonally.
Um,
It doesn't give an exact location. It just says there's a cave about it's northwest of here.
okay. Um,
also, before I forget, also before we get into any combat, um, something that I've been getting wrong for the past two sessions. All characters get two actions and then two actions from their thing. So I kept getting that wrong, but yes, just so you know, Morris, because I kept getting that wrong.
Hmm.
So any character that has at least basic fighting should always have four actions.
Okay.
Just letting you know. That way things don't happen. So yeah, ready for battle.
All right. Um.
so wait, every character starts out with four actions?
No, every character starts
Oh, I
out with
see.
two actions. They pick
Okay,
a
okay.
thing.
Okay,
Yeah,
explain
he
slowly, I'm
understands.
kinda confused here.
So this whole transaction took about another 20 minutes. Frank, by this time you have fixed your armor, and
Oh, so I
the
didn't have to
elvish
roll my
guy is what?
so I didn't have to roll my metalworking skill
Well, actually, yeah. Let's do a roll.
just to see if I actually managed to do it.
Yeah.
21, good.
All right.
Managed to do it.
You managed to do it, and the elf sort of like waves to you and goes, "Come here." And he's like got the packages all sorted out. There's a big crate, then there's a couple small pouches.
Okay, I can handle that. Heft the big crate on my shoulder, and then pick up the small pouches after gathering all my gear, though.
You know, wait, how much weight can you lift?
I can lift 1,000 pounds, but I can carry 500.
So, how much does a wagon weigh?
What is a wagon?
It's the
Is it a pull wagon?
it's a horse-drawn carriage, pretty much.
If it's a horse-drawn carriage, I'm going to unhook the horse and I'm going to pull the wagon.
Well, no, 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 no. But like, it's just the parts, and it's just all sorted into a box. It hasn't been assembled yet.
Okay, I could see 100 pounds.
Okay. You you lift on your shoulder, and you notice that's like a little hefty.
A wagon?
Shoot.
And he hands you a list of where the objects go. The box itself goes to the stables, and the three small patches go to these three different houses each, and it doesn't describe what the items are.
Okay. So, first off, to the stables I shall return, as I say.
He gives you a nod and goes, "All right." And then he goes off to work on his current project. And from what you could tell, like when you
Is
looked
there
inside their
evidence?
store, when you looked inside their store, from what you could tell is what they mostly specialized in was jewelry
Okay. So it's like
and
books and all that. Okay.
like not like specialized weapons or anything.
Okay. All right.
So yeah,
Instant. The second I saw him 4 years old, instantly have attention. What is he doing?
yeah. But like you're pretty much so you're just like heading back to the stables with the crate on your shoulder.
That's fine. I'm literally just carrying 100 pounds of material on my shoulder at a time.
So,
Okay.
I would, if it's okay, I would like to look and see on the necklace that was stolen if it has where I should, if I retrieve it, where I should return it to.
Well, from it doesn't have like a location, but like it has a name. It says Marion Lockhart.
Okay. So since I'm near the, I was at the stables, correct?
Yes.
I would like to ask the stable master, where Marion Lockhart is.
The stable master's eyes go wide for a split second, then like he goes back to like a stable expression and goes, Marianne Lockhart, she lives about 5 houses down that way, and he points this direction.
Okay, then I'm going to head towards that.
He points to his left.
Okay, I'm going to head left. Or, yeah, right.
Alright. As you head left, you pass a dwarf that's got a big old crate on his shoulder.
And I'm whistling the hi ho, we're off to work we go the whole time.
Being in kind of a whimsical state of the moment, I'm going to say, nice muscles.
He's like, thank you, and then I just like try to flex them and make them look larger.
Okay.
Like you know how you strain your muscles to make them just all of a sudden tense? Yeah. I'm not trying to crush anything, just so you know.
Okay. Roll to see if you impress him.
I'm not trying to impress, I'm just calling orders.
I know, but like I want to see if like you manage to impress Michael by this.
D20 or 100? Or two D10s.
2d10s. It's similar to a charm roll, but like it's not. So
Wrecked. Wrecked face.
yeah, Michael, you are like rather taken aback and like you're very impressed. You're like, oh no.
I have large muscles. My size. I'm a tiny Hercules.
You're like you yourself have found like a little bit of respect for this uppity, tough dwarf.
I'm not uppity.
So we has one hand free, right?
Yeah, he has one hand free. Right, Frank?
Being impressed,
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
Bonolguger.
Bolnoljiger, well,
Benoljiger.
first of all,
Sorry.
Nice to
I
meet you.
see you have quite a load there.
Yes, yes, I do. I work at this smithy and I'm paying off my debt with a favor.
Uh,
But yeah, I take your hand. Obviously, I'm much, much shorter than you.
yeah.
Michael,
So
you
like,
actually have to crouch down
I'm
a
not
little
going to like,
in order to shake his
like
hand.
kind of like kneel down a little bit.
Yeah.
But like
Bend,
kind of
bend
bend
over to
down
reach my
near.
You
arms.
bend the knee.
But yeah, I shake your hand and I say, "It's nice to meet you. I'm Hutchins."
Nice to meet you, Hutches. Can I call you Hutch?
Sure.
All right. Hutch. Where are you headed?
Stables.
I was just there. I'm actually headed this direction.
Oh,
If you need some help, I can carry that back to the stables, and then I can go this way.
that is
I mean, you
confused look.
obviously don't need any help.
Let me check my list. Let me pull out the list. Um, and just list off the names. If any of them match up to what he's doing, then yeah. See, I
All
need
right.
a
One
I
of
tell
the
him my name is
pouches.
Marion Lark.
Alright. And it actually turns out one of the pouches that you're actually supposed to deliver is addressed to Marion Lockhart.
okay. I'll pull out that package and I will hand it to him and say, "This is going to her. So just take it with you, and you'll be helping me out."
All right. No problem.
All right then.
I'll
So
take it, and I head on my merry way.
grab the brim of hat, nod, "M'lady."
Oh,
Head to
I forgot to say that I'm wearing a cloak with a hood that's brown. Um,
I forget, are you a boy or a girl?
You never specified your gender.
I am a guy.
Okay. It's just like during character creation, you like were hinting, you were like went, I never said that it was a guy.
I am a
Exactly.
guy who has both parts.
That's good.
Okay, that's gay.
Because the description it has both or both.
Hmm.
So essentially, I'm both.
Okay. But yeah,
I'm
um,
a
Yes.
hermaphrodite. I'm one in a million, bitches.
Nods, because that, thank God, my character doesn't know. Um,
yeah,
and turns around and goes back to goes back to heading to the stables.
okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
So we're actually gonna follow Michael here. Michael, you walk down 5 houses, you come to Marion Lockhart's house, and you notice
Is the
that
door unlocked or can I knock?
the door is closed.
Okay, I'm gonna knock.
You hear a rather musical voice say, I'll be there in a second. And after you hear some like rustling, you see a rather beautiful young woman open up the door and go, Yes?
Um, yes, somebody said I needed to give this to you. And also I wanted to see if you can give me any further information on um this necklace that you said was stolen and where I might be able to find that to be found.
Necklace? I don't remember reporting a necklace. Oh, you must be looking for Marion. Oh, she's upstairs. Marion! And you suddenly like hear like a thud, thud, thud. And you're actually able to see up the stairs and you see a rather large, grotesque looking woman start walking down the steps.
Okay.
How girly is she? Just for reference.
I'd
Is
say
she muscular or not?
she's not muscular at all.
Not
She's like
muscular, but
400
sturdy.
pounds of fat.
Have you ever seen the movie Eating Gilbert Grape?
Not.
No.
Okay. Um,
But like just imagine a very large woman who's overweight, and she's not attractive in the least. Like she's like got a tooth sticking out, and it's just like she's missing a couple.
All right. I'm gonna wait for her to.
Get to
For
the door.
how long does it take for her to reach the door? Is she out of breath when she reaches the door?
Yeah, she's. It actually takes her a minute to reach the door, and she's actually rather out of breath. And she like gives a glare to the beautiful young lady that introduced herself, and the beautiful young lady like bows her head and backs away. And Marion just growls, "We will speak of this later." And then she turns to you and goes, "You're here about the necklace?"
Yes. I was just asking if there's any further information on where I'm at to find this.
The thing is that one night while I was at the tavern, I was having a few drinks, and some time between then and me coming home, I had my necklace went missing.
How many nights ago was this?
It was about 3 nights ago.
2 nights ago.
I wanna meta so
By
hard.
the way,
I wanna meta so
she
hard.
has a very low and rather manly voice.
I wanna meta so hard.
No medding.
Wait. Do I notice she's a woman? That's a proper
She
question.
she also has a rather large bust, so yes, you knows that
Okay.
she's a woman.
Oh god, did you
Like she's
check
got a large
underneath your
bust, she's
jeans?
wearing a dress. So yeah.
Did you check underneath your
I'm
chins?
also going to hand her the thing I was touch handed him
Package.
apparently a friend's doing a favor for somebody and he's not really a friend, he's more of an acquaintance. I just met him.
She rolls her eyes and just snatches the package from you and goes, "I really don't care." She looks inside the pouch and goes, "About time he delivered this. I ordered this weeks ago." And
I say that under my breath.
the young lady pipes up and goes, "Ma'am, you ordered it yesterday." And Mariana sort of whips around and slaps the girl across the face
Girl.
and goes, "Silence, stupid
Like I said,
girl."
I come from a long heritage of the slap of a drow.
And
Me being somewhat interested and somewhat a little bit irritated that she just slapped this girl is going to kind of response in an authoritarian voice. Hey, we don't do that.
roll to see if she's intimidated.
Flank.
Intimidation. What's your mental affinity, just so I know?
My mental affinity is 16.
16, I believe that's a. Give me just a second to hunt it down. I think that's a 45% roll. Don't take my word for it.
Yeah, for stuff like this, Michael, it's 2d10s. It's
I know. 45.
It is 40% actually, because it's below
Well,
16.
She is not intimidated by you at all. In fact, like she notices that you like are trying to like be intimidating. She just like goes,
Oh,
"Really? I do whatever the
yes.
hell I want." And she's actually around the same height as you.
she's 7 feet tall.
Yeah, she's like really large, really fat, and she's 7 feet
Whoa.
tall.
What race is she? Is she
Mike,
human, elf,
Would you like
troll?
to see what race she is?
Is
Yes,
she a
I would
troll?
like to see what race she is. You should have told us at the beginning.
She could
From
be a
what you
small
can
troll.
tell, she's actually half ogre.
She's green.
What about the girl?
The young beautiful girl, is actually 5'5" and human. And like
Okay, so
She's actually she's actually sprawled out on the ground, like holding her like split lip from the slap.
Me ignoring the old fat ass,
Bitch.
is going to ask if the girl is okay.
She like very shyly goes, "I'm fine, I'm fine."
Are you sure?
From what you can tell, she's obviously not fine, but like she's trying to not get into any more trouble.
If I'm gonna say before going on and walking away, if you ever need any help, um, just ask anyone for, well, no, just ask if you've heard, if anyone's ever heard of Volmobier.
I'm sorry, I can't take your name seriously.
She just goes, "That won't be necessary, that won't be necessary."
Okay, I'm gonna walk away.
As you walk away, the Mariana just like slams the door and you can like hear shouting. Like very vicious shouting.
This is your inner conscience speaking, Michael.
I know.
Don't get involved. But yeah, I will hang out at the stables after I deliver the baggage for at least maybe 5-10 minutes, talking with Ryan.
I'm gonna walk back to the stables. Well, when I say walk back, more of kind of like a fast walk. And as I
Yeah,
walk, under my
that
breath,
shuffle that people do.
I'm just under my breath. I'm just gonna
Uh,
kill them.
So like as you're walking back, grumbling to yourself, we'll switch back to Frank, who's by this point made the rest of his deliveries. And
I guess I could have made those deliveries anyway.
yeah, because like that entire conversation was like a 20-minute conversation.
Sure. Oh yeah, yeah.
So like if you include like travel time and everything. So like
Yeah. So
Ryan
it's
go
getting crazy.
yeah, like Ryan just like turns to you and goes, "Hey, you ready to go or what?"
He just walks in carrying like 100 pounds of materials. Oh yeah, give me a minute. Just like walks over to the stable master and then sets it down in front of him. Here you go.
The stable master like goes wide-eyed and like looks up and down the crate, then looks at you and goes, "Thanks."
He's like, just like, all right. So if that's everything,
Because the stable
uh,
master himself, he's actually, from what you can tell, he's like really old. He's like got a hunch. He's got white hair, like, and a beard. He's, from what you can tell, he could have not in 100 years lifted this crate.
yeah, but I is drunk. Yeah. I'll shift my jacket. It's like, you're welcome. Walk over to Ryan. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to go.
Okay. Ryan goes, "All
Start
right."
climbing up my horse like a mountain.
Ryan goes, "All right, let me just pay." And then he actually turns and there's like a young stable boy who roll for a perception check.
Okay, 20 or
It's a d20.
16.
Who you notice has a rather expensive looking gold necklace.
Hmm.
One that you wouldn't
Does
expect a stable boy to
does he
have.
does he look like he could have ever afforded it?
It is
What?
the
How is
like
he? Okay.
he's like got a ripped up shirt, slightly tattered pants, and dirty hands.
Okay, so it doesn't look like he could afford it if he worked his entire life.
Yeah, like
Okay.
from what you can deduce, it's either a family heirloom or he stole it.
I can't meta, so I'm okay. I'll on my way to my horse, look over at him. It's like, hey kid, where'd you get that necklace?
The kid like sort of freezes in place, turns to you and goes, "It was my grandmother's."
Hmm.
Would that fall under like perception? Um,
Sure.
yeah, I guess you're trying to
Or I,
perceive if it's a lie.
you're GM. You can make it into whatever you want.
Or I could, yeah, I could just like assume it's like,
Okay,
hmm,
roll a
my
d20.
grandmother. Sure, okay. 5.
From what you can tell, he's telling the God's honest truth.
Right. Like under my breath, I'm gonna say I really shouldn't push the issue, but I'm
Do
going to.
I arrive yet?
Yeah,
Or am I
you
still on the
you
mission?
arrive by this point.
Yeah, I'm going.
Do I
Yeah,
know? No. Am I going? I'm noticing that this midget or this horse, because I'm a horse.
midget. No, I'm halfway to it.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
halfway
he's
to the
he's
horse.
halfway to his horse, and you notice that he's talking to this boy,
But yeah, I know I shouldn't push the issue, so
who's
I'm
like
gonna lean.
clutching something to his chest from your
So
perspective.
gonna lean forward just a bit, cause I'm like 10 feet away from him. Just lean forward, put fists on the hips. This is hilarious to think about as a dwarf.
I'm gonna.
And it's just like, cause I'm his height, probably like shorter than him, probably. Like,
Yeah,
just
he's like 10, but he's like 4 feet tall.
I'm like, how much money does your grandmother have?
Well, my grandmother didn't buy it. It's a family heirloom that like it was handed down to my grandmother, and before my grandmother died, she gave it to me because my parents died and she took me in.
I'll close one eye, and then I'll open the other one really wide. It's like, mm.
Frank, you've already done a roll, and and you think that he's telling the God's honest truth.
I'm just pushing the issue just to mess with the kid at this point.
And the kid
For
like
like,
just goes,
for
"It was
a
my
full minute,
grandmother's. Now leave me alone."
for a full minute, I stare at him with that wide one eye and closed other eye. He's like, yeah, I'm just messing with the kid. Go back to the horse.
The kid gives like a rather angry "Mm," and just like stomps off. Michael, roll to see, since like he like lowered his hands. Roll to see if you noticed the necklace.
What is that angry
Okay.
kid stomp off?
Hmm.
Hands by the side.
It's a 1d20. I'm sort of doing like D&D perception check.
Oh, god damn.
You do not notice the necklace.
Oh well.
Because like the thing is that like I made it like a relatively hard thing to notice. Like Frank, you were only one above the required.
Wow. That's kind of sad.
Because like he's got like tucked inside his shirt, like trying to keep people from seeing it.
Oh. So I noticed the edge of like a gold chain.
Yeah, it's from Michael's perspective. Michael, from your perspective, what you just witnessed was pretty much the old dwarven man picking on a little boy.
I'm not really old. I look old, but I'm not old.
Yeah, but like from Michael's perspective, that's what
Oh,
happened.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, I'm just gonna basically walk up to the horse while the affairs taken care of. Just want to let you know. And am I gonna notice? What's the other guy's name again?
Ryan.
Ryan. I'm gonna notice Ryan and be like, oh, that's you.
You two know each other?
Ryan
Yeah, that's
sort of
why I'm talking to
points
the
at him
horse.
and goes, "He's the guy that bumped into me and caused me to sploosh my ale in my face.
Shouldn't have been sitting there.
You shouldn't have drank so much when you can't hold your liquor."
Yeah. Oh well.
Okay, you two. I'm gonna need to get in a room.
It's
Mike,
time I go. Hey, note.
Ryan just like sort of darts his face at you, and like as he does that, like you can like hear his neck like crack,
Yes. And
and he just goes, and he just like gives you like a really stern look.
I'm supposed to book find you. We're traveling buddies now.
Ryan just goes,
Like a
"Fine,"
horrified necromancer. Buddies now.
and he just goes, "Fine," and he like you know how like sometimes taller friends will like just give like shorter friends noogies.
He attempts to noogie me on a
Yeah,
big ass horse. What is it?
Well, you weren't on your horse yet, I thought. I thought you were like halfway between your horse and then you went to mess with the stable boy.
He
Well,
did
after
say
that,
after he, yeah.
Uh,
I started scaling my horse up a mountain.
alright, he just shrugs, mounts his own horse, and then attempts to noogie you. His horse is almost the same height. It's a little bit shorter.
Oh yeah, but mine's is a Clydesdale.
Yeah, but you're a really short person like Clydesdale.
Exactly. It's so overproportioned.
He's a
Makes it
10-year-old on a Clydesdale.
exactly.
Yeah, so like what Ryan does, he pretty much just like reaches over and like gives you a nuggie.
Damn it! Don't touch my hat.
Wait,
He just
Ryan
goes,
have a
"You told
Clydesdale
me
that's the
that."
same height as the.
Clydesdales are relatively large, but yeah, they're not extremely tall.
Like if you think of the horses that they used to pull the trains.
Yeah, one that is
Yeah, I know what a Clydesdale is. I'm just saying.
it's more broad than it is
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
solid.
Your GM. Go ahead.
Okay, so all this transpires. Ryan just starts to
Well,
he just turns towards Michael, who's sort of blocking the exit right now, and goes, "Do you mind moving?"
before we leave, well, yeah, of course we can't leave, so I'm gonna ask, want to join us?
Nah.
Hey, you piss off my friend. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Ryan just like sort of goes, "Hmm."
I'm walking though. I'm not riding. I'm not riding in on it with anybody. I'm walking.
You're
He
not riding.
Ryan asks you, "Do you have any special skills?"
It's none of your business right now. I don't know you from Adam.
I'm just looking to hire people with skills that can help me take back my castle.
Let's put it this way.
Wait a minute.
We're
Wait
gonna
a
go
minute.
take on a
Castle.
necromancer.
You guys
Yeah,
are taking on a necromancer?
we're taking on a necromancer, and because it wiped out his whole family.
Yeah, and Ryan sort of like taps the like coat of arms on his shield and goes, "Yeah,
Oh, he
What?
does. He has
Okay.
a he has a suit coat of arms.
yeah." It's
He describes
a,
to me.
Let me go get
Go
the
ahead.
image.
it's
Do I recognize as he looks for that? Do I recognize the coat of arms?
Oh, damn it. There it is. Yep, that's the
roll a 2d10,
I'm gonna fail this.
and it's for
Oh, this
Frank. What would you say like a lore skill would be? Like what's
I
base
do
lore
have a
skill?
lore skill, I believe.
Well, what type of lore skill do you have?
Um,
explore magic, isn't it?
yeah, that's what it is. I would.
Yeah, you would. The only thing that would come close to like knowing this would be like lore religion, I
Yeah, I
guess.
do.
Yeah,
I think
you.
the average would be around if he has
Well, I rolled a 52, so anything above
So
that,
like, what's
I don't know.
base lore,
five,
religion stuff? Yeah,
lore skill.
yeah.
That's basic.
You don't recognize the coat of arms.
I'm gonna say I don't recognize that, but yeah, that's cool.
It's two dragons wrapped around a sword.
I know, I
Just
saw it.
I was explaining it to
Oh,
the
you're
people.
explaining to chat. Okay, okay.
Yeah, so
I forgot you were recording.
yeah, it's
You can show it in chat.
it's
What do
this,
you think?
except like the dragons are red and the sword's black.
Okay, you should explain it.
Yeah. So he just like goes and he
If you need my help, then I'll give it a go.
And he goes, "All right, reward is half of the two of you get to split half of what's inside my family's treasury."
Actually,
What's
I'm
inside
not
your
taking your
treasury?
treasury.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
taking
you're taking whatever is on the necromancer.
yeah, whatever's in his hold. I'm taking that.
Okay.
He's
What's
you
in half
have
your
You
the
treasury?
weapons.
Describe to me what's in your treasury. I don't want to
well,
get
my
like 50
family
gold pieces.
my family is very old and it had
Very
close
old, you mean?
ties. Yes, we're old money, and it had close ties to a very prominent church in their region, like that's devoted to the religion that worships Bahamut, the god of dragons.
Would I recognize the religion?
Religions are fairly common, so
Yeah,
names are fairly easy to notice. Not something I need
the
to roll for.
from what you guys know, like very basic knowledge, the religion of Bahamut, like the religion that worships Bahamut, is just called Bahamor, and it pretty much is just this religion that worships this deity that is said to be the father of all dragons, and it's a dragon that tries to instill like honor and pretty much knightly virtues.
So I'm gonna say, you represent that religion.
He gives you a bow and like holds out a
I'm gonna say,
religious idol that's on a chain around his neck.
that explains everything. Uh, okay.
I
I'll give him.
still have some issues when it comes to the whole self restraint, but I've gotten most of everything else down. And he tucks it back in his armor.
I'm gonna go. Uh,
That's
yeah, we all have a little bit of taste of that. I'm gonna kind of show him my because the weapons that I carry are a fleishon and a flamberge. Sorry if I butchered those names.
all
English
good.
term. So you can show people this is the flamberge. Since Frank did say last night I can pick what they look like. Um,
That just doesn't change anything about them.
Okay.
um,
All it does is change the look.
that and
That's more of a
I'm just
scimitar,
gonna
but
kind of like lift like my
Oh,
do I have a sheath piece?
did you purchase a sheath?
I don't have a sheath. I'm just gonna kind of like undo my cloak a little bit and just kind of show him my pistol because
mm.
my flamberge would be on my back compared to this one.
Ryan gives like a praising look and goes, "Fine blade."
Yes, yes indeed.
And Ryan did overhear earlier of how you were going over to Mariana's house and that you were making delivery. So he goes, "How did that go, by the way?"
Who, me?
Oh,
No, he's asking
he's
Michael.
talking to me.
He's asking a
London.
Bullnogger.
Just call me Bull for short.
Yeah, Bull. He's asking Bull.
He's gonna say, well, uh, what's the biggest person you ever met besides me?
I met a troll once.
Mm.
How big was
Under a
he?
bridge. He was 9 feet tall and he lived under a bridge. Big ass beard that went down to his nuts.
How round was he?
Well, he couldn't fit under the bridge.
Ryan
Well,
gives a light chuckle.
this is the troll's baby. Let's just put it that way. She is a people person that likes to hit. Um,
Oh, hold on.
hit it.
Oh
Well,
wait,
at least she looks like a woman.
did
Don't
you
that
just
make sense?
say hit women?
It, on,
At the as you say that, Ryan just like goes very stiff and
yes.
rigidly unmounts his horse and starts to and just marches up to you and goes, "Where? Which house?"
Be like, if
It's
you're
kind of
going to do what I think you're gonna do, I will gladly do it.
it's funny
And
because
I lead him to the house.
hold on. Listen, before you guys leave, it's almost the same feeling. Goes stiff, where you hear him, where you hear my character take in a inhale. It's like
More cocaine.
So you're pretty much like going, don't.
no, it's not even a don't. It's like a shit. I want to kill her, but oh, I have to hold him back. But yeah, like dismount horse. It's kind of weird. He approaches him, and then I approach 3 feet tall.
Okay.
I I can't get over the hilarity of being short.
So
But
you guys are walking up to the house, right?
Out of game for 1 second. Guess what I just received?
What?
Your invite. We'll stay on this one.
Yeah, we'll stay on this one this time around. Um,
we
but
can
yeah,
follow him.
you guys reach the house, and Ryan just sort of turns to the two of you and just like very darkly goes, "Wait here." Turns around.
No.
I'm just.
I'm going to wrap my arms around his legs. No, you're not gonna kill her.
I
I
He's
ain't
gonna.
gonna
I'm
kill
gonna try
anyone.
to.
He he
I'm gonna
he
try.
deliberately turns back to you and goes, "I am not gonna kill anyone." He unbuckles his belt that has his sword on it, drops it in front of you, and drops his shield, takes off his helmet, hands it to you, and goes, "Wait here."
I know how knights work. You can kill a grown man with your bare hands. So could I, but still, it's not the point.
I he sort of like looks down at you and goes, "From what he's telling me," points at Bull, "it's not even a human being in there. From
That's
what
that's
he's telling me, it's a troll."
you got something against non-humans?
No,
Well,
I have something
about this
against
time
people
I'll
that
vibe up.
abuse women.
Dare I?
About this time I'll vibe up. It's about the size of the troll. It's not a troll. It's more like a recruiter.
Oh my god, what the fuck? Oh, you just made it worse.
Alright, Ryan sort of shakes you off his legs.
Well, fine, I will let go, but my grip is like iron.
Alright, but like he goes up to the door, doesn't even knock, he just like tears it open and walks inside and shuts it behind him and locks the door.
If he tear, I got a question. If he tore the door open, then technically won't the door lock? The door can't lock.
No, it's not like he actually tore it open. He like opened up the door like rather
Angrily.
angrily and slammed it shut,
He
then
just said
locked it.
door, and I was just like, there's no door.
It's a way of expressing. Okay. um, After a few minutes, you hear some rustling, you hear some glass breaking, and then and then all of a sudden you see him like kick the door open, and he's holding the young, beautiful woman in his arms, and he's sort of like going, "Run!"
Oh shit! That's what I'm going. Oh shit!
I'm gonna grab his equipment and, well, thank God I can at least somewhat run. Thanks. I took that one skill.
Suddenly,
It's a good skill.
the woman sort of busts through the front of the house.
Run, 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 run,
And
run, run, run.
she gives a rather monstrous roar as she's like stomping after you guys.
That's exactly
So
watching right now.
we're
Run, run,
running.
run, run, run.
We are running back to the stables, correct?
Yes.
She's following us.
Yes. And from what you guys can tell, the young woman is rather badly beaten. Like she's not even conscious. She's like covered in bruises, got split lip, a black eye, and from what well, do either one of you have a medical skill?
I have first aid.
Okay, roll a first aid check. I'm
Let's see
not.
if I have.
It's not to like to fix her, but
77.
like you notice that there's like a slightly worse bruise on her arm.
Okay. Well, sadly, that's well above my thing, so.
Yeah, I know. But like if you actually managed, I would say you would notice that like her arm is straight up broken.
Damn. Wait. Let me see if I have first light. I believe I got it. Um.
Is her arm bending in a weird way?
No, from all you can tell, it's a very large and
I
swollen
do have
bruise.
first aid. Um.
All right, do you want to make a roll?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
It is
You
actually that
do
is underneath my first aid.
you do notice that her arm is broken.
Okay.
Alright.
Um.
Also, one other thing I forgot to mention about my
How
equipment.
close are we to?
You Ryan is actually running ahead of you. He's running a little bit faster. And you actually by the time you reach the stables, you see that he's like mounting up his horse. Like you're at the stables by this point, but like he's like already got the girl on the horse and he's like mounting and he's like holding her.
Okay, I'm basically gonna tell Ryan, go charge your horse towards her. I'm gonna do something.
Ryan like gives you a perplexed look and goes, "I have an injured passenger here. I'm getting her out."
Before
Yeah, I know, but
he
technically, if you ran the direction that she's coming away, she can still get out. That's what I mean.
okay, from what's going on right now, I'll stop short before both of them, or after both of them reach the thing. Like I'm gonna try to get my shield out, turn around, set it in the ground, then just hope and pray my strength is enough.
Just so you know, Frank, this woman is about like 500 pounds. So you can't carry her, but like you can lift.
Luckily, I can lift her.
But you can't carry.
Yeah, I might be able to move her about 7 feet before I get too tired.
Yeah. Um,
Alright, so
as Ryan and Michael are sort of like arguing what he's supposed to do, because
No
like
one just run away. I'm staying here. Let's go.
I'm already trying to stop her.
Ryan sort of just like snaps the reins and he pulls out to the right and turns around, heading towards the village gate.
About this time, I'm gonna kind of like put my hand at my weapon and just kind of put my hand to my head, kind of like close to like I don't know how do sign on work.
You don't have to make any action whatsoever. You can
Right.
cast it on
Well,
the bot.
for the role play aspect, I'm kind of just gonna kind of do like the what's his name, Professor X thing, where he kind of just kind of does that, and I'm going to use telepathy.
All right.
That's a saving throw conditional.
Well, if you're trying to read her mind, if you're trying to
Um,
send a message, maybe not.
I'm trying to send a message.
Well, technically you can, but you don't need to make a saving throw when getting a message from telepathy.
So I can
So
just send a message and see if it works.
Okay.
Um, I'm gonna send the message. Um,
it can be
don't
any
do
message.
that.
Yeah, it can be any message as long as it's short.
I'm gonna send the message. Don't do that.
And you're gonna try and make her stop using this.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm still standing in her path, shield on the ground, like, oh god, I hope this doesn't squish me.
All right. Do I make the roll or does Michael make the roll?
You make the roll. If you want her to make a saving throw to resist getting this message,
Okay.
if she can sense it
She's
from
failing
where
the
she is.
saving
She
throw.
fails. She suddenly like starts to like wobble and like stops in her spot. Stops on the
Well,
spot.
it doesn't actually affect her. It's just a message.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't have to affect her. She'll
Uh,
just be it's like, who got
so
caught?
she's like going, huh? As she's like still charging, she's like going, what was that?
Oh god. Thud, thud, it's getting closer. Oh god, oh god, oh god.
She stopped. About this time, I'm gonna say to Hutch, hurry, go. She stopped moving.
Well, she's actually still charging. She just heard the message of, don't do that.
Oh, okay.
Kind of
She's
like
like going, huh?
who's that talking? Okay, I hear this. I'm not gonna resist the message, of course, but uh, is that God?
Yeah, no, she just like goes, as she still continues to charge.
Yeah, but if I hear the message, of course, because I'm not gonna resist it for me, for the other one.
Oh, so,
No,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I wasn't using telepathy with you.
Oh.
I was just gonna say, hurry, let's go.
Okay.
Oh.
Because I originally thought it stopped her because
Okay.
on my
Isn't
list.
it like Jerry?
No. Yes, it was Jerry. It was in honor of the first buddy that you were gonna have.
Hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Whistle. Jerry, we gotta go.
Your Clydesdale like sort of clops up next to you and like gives a get on head motion.
Yeah. Scale the horse. Go up next to Bull because I don't want to pronounce his name right now. Get on. Extends a hand.
I
Does it
I
give you a
I
hand?
reach my hand out and I kind of like do like a hop.
All right. By the time Bull actually manages to mount the horse, Mariana has actually collided with the side of Jerry.
Oh,
Bitch gonna die.
Let's roll to see if she manages to knock you over.
wait, am I on Jerry or
You're on Jerry,
sec?
but like before you're able to take off, she's already collided with you guys.
Okay. Well, I was hoping that I would.
Would you like to roll to see if Jerry manages not to fall?
Let's see if Jerry's strong enough. What? D20?
Yeah.
I
Defender always wins.
yeah.
Jerry gives a slight stumble but manages to stay on his feet.
Freaking just digs his hooves in the ground. Bitch.
Would you like to attempt to trot off by this point?
Pull out axe
Oh shit!
and then whip the reins.
As
Oh, I thought you were gonna be like slice.
as you start to try to run away, she sort of grabs at Bull. Bull, do you want to dodge her grab?
We're gonna go. We're gonna
Technically,
go.
wouldn't
We're gonna go.
Bull be an NPC and you would have to? No, because Frank's controlling him. So
No,
wouldn't that be on
no,
your horsemanship skill?
you're not an NPC.
No, she's trying to grab you.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, I was thinking horse. Sorry, god damn it.
The name of the horse is Jerry.
Yeah.
You're Bull.
Okay, she's gonna grab me.
Yeah, she's gonna grab at you.
I guess I'm gonna roll to dodge. God
Ooh.
damn.
She grasps you by like the scruff of your neck and like yanks you off. And is like just holding you into the air.
I'm pretty it, like the horse trots off out from underneath him. There's just you can hear me yell, "Shit!" All right. Something that I forgot to mention about my equipment is I carry around a javelin.
Mm.
That
Oh yeah, you
thing
told
is
me like you have one javelin.
yeah, and it's 7 feet long.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put away my axe, pull out said javelin, and hold it like one would a lance.
Is
Okay.
is the stables within a 200-meter distance, Tom? No, 200 feet distance?
Yeah, you're like only 50 feet away.
Can I see it?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to cast Illusions on ISD. And I am going to ask the horses to run directly at her.
Lance.
So I have to roll under 80%.
All right, roll.
Because it says 1 out of 180, so basically like defend. So I'm gonna use defend on me. So I
Made
succeed.
it.
3 ponies
Yay.
charge out of the stable and run into her.
I'm sorry. It's funny to think about that because if you've seen the Battle of the Five Armies, right?
Mm-hmm.
You remember that one dwarf was riding riding a pony.
Well,
He's
you're
the
riding a
Phoenicians.
goat.
Now we would have to roll for melee, right?
Yeah, I'm rolling for their attack and her defense. They fail to knock her over. Like actually one pony like sort of put down its head and ran into her and it actually broke the pony's neck.
Oh
All right. Roll initiative, yeah.
Oh my god. Oh wait, that's a D10. Oh my god. Jesus.
Yes.
Well, you both go before her anyway.
You got lucky.
All right, you first, Michael.
Um, can I reach my flashy on?
Well, she's sort of grabbing you by the scruff of your neck, and like the hill.
So I'm not facing her.
I know. Yeah, you can grab
So
deflation.
it's my front.
You can grab deflation.
Falchion.
Alright, so
Falchion,
I'm gonna
yeah.
grab it, but I want to grab it in such a way where she can't see me grab it.
Well, you're in a cloak, so.
So I'm just gonna kind of reach something out of my cloak.
She's not really paying attention to you. She's more paying attention to the annoying ponies like whacking at them.
Okay, so
Like going,
I'm just
"Rrr,
gonna like
fuck."
take the sword to like my side, so that way I can stab her. I'm just gonna thrust with all my might directly behind me towards her.
Okay,
Here I
so
come.
should we do this like wildfire? Shooting wildly type roll?
Sure.
Alright,
Actually, let me look
roll.
at the book so that I can. Yeah, we'll just treat it like a normal roll, but with negatives, because it gets no bonus to
I
hit.
do get a +1 to initiative.
Okay, so you got 9.
Yeah, that's
Do
what
you
I'm
get a
looking at.
+1 to attack rolls?
Well, it's a wild. It's attacking wildly, so he gets no bonuses.
Yeah, so no bonuses.
I know. I just wanted to.
Alright, make the roll.
So 11.
And she doesn't see you doing this, so she takes the hit.
Okay, and that's the weapon. The Palladium does 2d6 damage.
Alright,
And 6 damage.
alright. Well,
Say what?
it sinks in about an inch.
Oh, oh shit! How much damage does that javelin do? Check that. Might not be a good
Well,
idea.
since you're using it as a
What HP
lance,
does he have?
when it comes to health,
I know you can't know that.
like I'm not gonna tell you.
I know. I'm just wondering.
I can tell you that's a crap load.
Okay. Yeah, the javelin might do something. I just wait. Hold on. I have a skill. Ha 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 ha.
Okay, what's she gonna do now that I stabbed her?
That's my turn actually.
Well, it's Frank's turn first.
I'm going to take my javelin and I'm going to hurl it because I have the.
Are you in front of me or behind me?
I don't know. Well, I turned around, so you look at me holding up the javelin.
God damn it, Frank. At least I'm wearing armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. So I have the weapon targeting and missile weapon skill, so I can throw javelins. Thank God. Um. So yeah, how far away is she, by the way?
From you, since you rode off a few feet, about 100 feet.
All right. So that would be an 8, and I get a free bonus.
A
Oh,
9.
thank God. Oh, barely.
She moves to use Bull as a human shield.
Oh no.
Fails.
Misses and hits her.
Yeah, it hits
Where does
her
it hit her?
in, like, it hits her in the sternum.
You hit her in the side of the chest?
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Yes.
So is there a javelin sticking out of her, or did it just kind of like do what my sword did? Just went in an inch and fell down?
Well, roll damage. Roll damage.
Yeah.
I want to see how much damage it does before I decide that.
3d4 plus 12
Oh, oh yeah.
because it's a thrown weapon. Thrown weapons
Okay.
However, like a crossbow won't, but a bow maybe.
All right.
20.
Oh,
It sticks.
It broke her ribcage. I'm kidding.
In fact, it actually impales her, but does not kill her. Like from
Christ, this bitch is strong.
yeah, she's currently like just going like she grabs it and actually like pulls it out, and there's like a hole through her now.
Oh,
And then she yeah, she got entirely impaled. Like it went through her
no.
entirely.
Through her.
Yeah, but it didn't kill
Oh
her.
my god.
She then takes the javelin and attempts to stab Bull with it.
No!
How long are her arms?
Parry. Parry, Michael, parry.
I do get a plus. I do have a bonus that I didn't do last time.
Whatever.
Um,
Parry.
I get a +2 to parry and dodge. So I'm
Okay,
gonna attempt to parry.
parry.
Use your falchion. Parry.
10 +2, 10.
Alright. You parry it.
And now it's my turn again, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Um,
get down to business.
To
I'm gonna
defeat.
I'm
The
gonna attempt
Huns.
to wiggle like free.
Alright, roll.
D20.
Yeah.
Oh my!
She. In fact, you managed to wiggle in such a way that she, like, just squeezes harder.
No! Alright.
You're starting to have difficulty breathing.
God damn!
I am going
Boy
to.
hates me.
Yeah, it does. It hates me too. Yeah, I am going to draw my axe from my belt.
Hold on, this is actually gonna do a little bit of damage, Michael. I'm gonna be nice and just do 1d4. 3.
Damn, this bitch is
3
strong.
damage away from my SDC, correct?
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, yes, because
No,
it's
away from
crushing.
my yeah
No, because it's
my normal
crushing.
SDC because it's stunned.
yeah.
It's not actually attacking your armor.
Um,
But now I will draw my axe and whip the
3.
reins. Charge, Jerry, charge! Raw!
Okay.
Best part about riding a horse. Force multiplier.
Alright. So,
Gonna run by her and slash her.
are you able to do that in one turn?
Well,
No,
You
you
were
have
a
to
hundred
draw
feet
your.
away.
well, yeah, that's true. Well,
So you can.
it only took like one action to get that far away.
Yeah. So you can ride up to
I c-
her but not attack.
well, in game terms, that would mean I would get literally to her, and that's where time would pause for the next action. Shit.
Yeah. She sees you coming and attempts to use Bull as a makeshift weapon.
Damn it! I can't
she
parry.
she actually swings Bull at you.
Oh fuck.
Holy fucking. This is
You're
gonna
luck.
damage me too.
Yeah.
So you're lucky. I'm gonna be nice.
Is she swinging me by the head?
Yeah.
So my feet first?
Yes, you're
Or wait,
she's
okay.
swinging you but she's like she sort of like just like flips you in her hand and then like she swings you by your
So
head.
she's not holding on my neck.
Well, she's still holding onto your neck.
Okay.
Okay, so you're lucky. I'm gonna be nice. I'm actually gonna try to, before you hit me, say, Jerry, run! And I'm going to jump up and then latch onto him and see if I can manage to latch on to. Nope. He just fucking.
It's pretty much baseball. All right, this is gonna be a 1d6 for Frank.
Okay. Okay. So yeah.
All right, it does 4 damage to you, Frank, and to Michael it does
Well, it's an
3.
attack.
What does it do damage to? My
Yeah,
SDC
it
or my
does it to
armor
your
SDC?
it does it to your armor SDC.
Because
I know,
Mm-hmm.
but she was swinging me by the neck, so that's why it was like,
That's how much you take to your personal SDC.
okay,
It did 3 SDC to your armor and 4 SDC to your
okay,
person.
okay. Okay, Google, what was death doing?
From what I understand, Michael actually might be very close to death here.
I have no clue. No, because he had a
Oh yeah, because he's a changeling, not a
Relatively
human.
no. It's because he had a skill that increased his
Yeah.
SDC.
So far, Michael, you've taken 7 to your personal SDC.
Damn, I was hoping I could latch on to her and climb up while I was
So
fighting
I
her.
have 19 successes.
Frank, you get launched about 2 feet.
Wait,
Well, I do. I
isn't there a knockback effect roll you have to do?
not really.
Not really.
Well, unless you want to roll a certain number of dice to see how many feet I roll back.
Hmm. Well, considering that you're a
It's
dwarf
only
and you weigh 250 pounds, and you're being hit
right.
by a person and you're wearing equipment, and it's yeah, you'd get like launched 2 or 3 feet.
It's enough to knock me off, Jerry. Thankfully, I jumped off
Mm-hmm.
after you hit me first once.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like that one scene with John in the movie. Oh, fuck! All right, just rolls back like 3 feet. Ow, it hurts. All right, so that was my action.
All right.
That was her action. So now it's your action again, Michael.
Okay, and is she still swinging me, or like what position am I oriented currently?
She's currently like holding you down by her side, like your feet are like touching the ground and stuff. Like
Oh God, I can't
I
see.
forgot to mention this, but when she bursted out the front of her house, she sort of doubled in height.
The fuck?
She must have had some, from what you guys can deduce, she must have had some like magical charm.
How close am I to the bitch's neck?
You're about halfway down her body.
Yeah. Your feet are touching the ground.
How close? Okay, does this thing have a vagina?
Yes.
I'm going to attempt to stab my sword in her vagina.
You're gonna stab her in the cooch.
I'm gonna stab her in the cunt.
Alright, roll. You pretty much just like thrust your sword into the air, and she's like going, moron. And she.
It's
Wait,
activated.
it's. She just like sort of. Like,
Frank,
she
you
just goes
failed
moron.
me.
Alright, it's your turn, Frank.
Yeah. Well, still have my axe. Stand.
If
Charge! And I
another
just
one
swing
is
my
rolled,
axe.
I call backs.
Okay. And you're able to hit her this time around, yeah.
12. Oh no, plus the strike 3, so 15. Damn it!
She manages to like just sidestep you a little.
Damn it, embedded itself in the ground again. Yank out. Ah!
And that's her last action, actually.
She only has
Oh,
three.
Yeah, she only
yeah.
has 3.
Yeah, because
Okay,
she doesn't
Frank.
have combat training, remember?
Yeah, no.
She's not trained in combat. She's kind of just flailing around, hoping and praying to hit something.
And she's managed to hit some people.
Yeah, she managed to hit you, or hit me with you. Damn it. Okay, so since now it's your action, Michael.
I'm afraid I'm gonna hit another one again. Honestly.
Alright,
Just try to work
try
up
again.
for it again.
And if you roll
I'm
another
gonna
one, I'll let you re-roll.
I'm gonna try to wiggle, but I'm gonna try to push off her side.
Well, she's. Alright, so roll.
Wait, no, I gotta stop recording.
You get free,
The
because
dice have
she's
death
out of
effects.
actions.
They were punishing you to let you free.
Yeah.
Fuck.
They
You
were
know what sucked
punishing
about
you
it
for
though?
suggesting that the man that has the wounded woman go into combat.
Yeah.
I wasn't saying combat. I was saying run past her
Well,
because that's
I'm
when I left the animals kill.
Well, as GM, I'm telling you, if he did that, she would have pretty much just like
Yes, but I
grabbed
didn't.
them both,
That's the thing.
like
I
tore them
didn't.
off the horse.
That's why I said.
Yeah. So yeah,
So you've made your
you've wiggled free.
so now axe raw
All right, roll.
So
11. No,
You
was that
hit.
my third or my
14.
fourth action?
Um, I think that's your fourth.
Yeah, so this will be my fourth, and then I can make one more. So
All right, you hit Frank because she's out of actions.
3d6 plus 12. Raw chop. It's like
By
so.
this point, she seems to be weaker. Like she seems to be like going. "Ugh." Like the injuries are starting to take a toll on her. Like your axe is like went.
It's deep in
It
her.
cut deep. It,
Good. All right. So now, since you can't really dodge, pull out my axe. Well, okay. Take
is
another
this
swing.
because you got the dual axe skill thing?
What do you mean?
Well, you've
Oh,
attacked once already.
yeah.
Do you have two axes?
No, I can pull that axe out, correct?
Yeah, you can pull it out, but you can attack again.
Michael doesn't have any other actions. I'm the only other person with
Oh
actions.
yeah, you can attack again. Yeah, I forgot. You have five, not four. Okay, swing,
For
hit,
what would that be? Seven? No, 18. No, 17.
hit.
17. Yes.
Now roll
Ah,
damage.
bitch. I just wish I was on my horse. 23. Ah.
37 minus 23. You did not hear that, by the way.
I just heard 23. That's all I heard.
Good. She looks to be on the brink of death.
All right. So now we re-roll initiative. 12. 6. Nah, bitch.
All right, go, Frank.
All right. I will take another swing. 15.
She goes to dodge. She
Damn
dodges.
it! She managed to slip away. Bitch, come back here.
She then sort of, since she's like 4 feet, 14 feet tall, she kicks you in the face.
Fuck. I'm fighting a Goliath.
You're actually fighting an ogre.
Think about it like this. I'm 3 feet tall. She's 14 feet tall.
Yeah, she,
David, Goliath.
yeah, she goes to kick you in the face.
She's gonna punt me. Let's see. What do I have to dodge? 'Cause you can't exactly parry a kick if it is the size of my entire body. Mm,
This is gonna hurt.
yeah, I just might get punted. All right. Oh no, I can roll with punch slash fall. So essentially, I can have the damage I'm going to take. All right. So that's a +3 to roll with punch. Damn, it's not enough.
Hmm.
I failed to roll with punch.
And considering that she's an ogre,
I could have dodged. I could have dodged.
I rolled a 1d8 considering that she's an ogre. But yeah, you take 3 to your armor SDC.
Cross his arms. Oh! Just slide back 3 feet. Ah! Good
Go,
God!
Michael.
I just fixed this armor.
I would like to take my sword, then just stab at it.
Alright, go. You're attacking her from her back, by the way. Alright,
Right
re-roll.
in front of me.
I'm
My armor
literally
rating just
going to
hit
kill
me.
the whole plane.
Alright. You're attacking her from behind. She doesn't see it coming. So, you hit.
No, well, you do have bonuses to strike, so that still would have hit. She wouldn't have been able to dodge.
Oh.
Well, either way, he he got his good roll.
Either way.
All right.
It's not gonna be my
So,
fault.
what did you attack with? Your flamberge or your fellation?
Well,
I managed to try.
would it cost an action to pull the flamberge out?
It would.
Yeah, because it's a
So,
range.
you attack with your falchion.
Okay. And that is 2d6.
And do you get bonus damage for any skills?
What's your strength?
Strength.
I don't know. Hold on, since the I rolled damage.
Okay. She is looking very, very close to death.
All right.
Like almost as if like someone hit her with a stick, she'd die.
Okay. I almost wish I had jumps. Because if I had jumps, I could pull a one
How
punch.
far away is he from her?
Frank, you actually did not get knocked back by the kick, by the way.
Okay, so I might have moved back an inch from the impact.
Yeah, it was just like a pfft.
It was a lazy punt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I would like to. I really wish I could have jumps because if I had jumps, I could pull a one punch.
Oh wait, with weapons of sword, aren't you plus one to strength? Oh,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because levels 1 3.
okay. So I hate to say it, but I'm just gonna have to take another swing. So I roll a six with 6 damage. My ass.
She sort of just like steps over your swing.
Oh god, it's hard being tall.
Yeah. All right, Michael, go.
I'm gonna stab at her again.
All right.
Am I still behind her?
Yes, you're.
Alright.
She's out of actions, man.
I'm
So,
with plus 2 strength, so that's 14.
all right, you hit.
2d6. 8 damage.
She dies.
Don't follow me! Don't follow me! Don't follow me!
About this time, I would like it. Like, is she like still wearing clothes or
Is she gonna
By
die
this point,
instantly if I get her?
like is she
she
still
actually
wearing
does
clothes?
start falling forward onto Frank.
I would like to get out of the way.
Roll to dodge.
God damn it. I have plus 2 to dodge, so that's a 9.
All right.
Got her.
Hit.
Impossible to hit from up
Oh
close.
man.
The body can't hit
Ah.
as an enemy.
All right. So yeah, you dodge.
Oh,
It
that
gets
that
out of
that
the
left
way.
a little bit weird for
Well,
me.
you dive out of the way and she lands on your foot.
God damn it! Ah!
Does his foot break? Is the real question.
No,
Yeah,
she's
so
rather cushiony.
oh god, I've been cutting my cushion.
So like she might be like really heavy and fat, but like her fat
It's
sort of
soft
like
but heavy.
feels soft. It's soft but heavy, yeah.
Okay, so now pull my foot, shake it off, cry a little, and retrieve my javelin.
Would you like guys like to mount Jerry and exit the town at this point? Or would you like to
I would
well
mount Jerry and then I'd stay maybe a minute, look around, and see what's going on currently.
Yeah, I
well
would
by
too.
this point in time you start hearing a type of alarm like a city bell, a village bell going off and like some guards are like starting to go, "Hey, stop those men!"
Shit! Oh, I can either stay, serve my sentence, or I can haul ass and hope to live another day. Yeah! Takes the reins.
Okay, so you and Bull are on the horse, on Jerry right now, right? All right.
Yeah.
You ride out of the city,
All right.
and you
So
manage to catch up to Ryan, who stopped a couple miles outside of the city. And by the time you actually reach him, you sort of ride up on a sight of him sort of like the girl has regained consciousness and like you know how the those semi-romantic settings of where like the man is like laying on his side and the girl's like on her back looking up at him.
Yeah.
You sort of roll up on that with them like laying on top of a bedroll.
So how injured are we currently?
Not very.
Not very injured at all. Like you have like slight bruising on your neck, and
Damn it, dog.
Frank personally has like no damage to himself.
Yeah, as
So
ever.
Like
are
you have like slight bruising and like you feel some strain. Like you feel a little stiff.
approaching. I'm gonna go. Can we need a room?
They both like almost like freeze in their steps. Like he's sort of reached up his hand to sort of to what looks like to caress her face, and like they like both like stare up at you and like start blushing and like instantly just like dart apart.
I'm just gonna kind of chuckle a little bit.
Okay. I'm gonna point to her and just say, next town, that's where you stay.
Ryan gives a little peeved look, and
About this time, I'm gonna say, "Oh, let the two lovebirds stay."
No, point at him. Slow your roll, big dog.
Ryan then starts to explain she's going to be joining us on our mission.
Yes, I'm sure she will.
He then continues to explain that she is a witch.
A what?
A witch.
A witch.
Not a bad witch, though, like a good witch. Like, she mostly specializes in healing magics.
Okay.
And when I say witch, I mean female mage.
I see. I know.
Yeah, and like she specializes in healing magics.
Awfully convenient,
So
you
that's why
might
she didn't
say.
fight back. Does he say that to like aloud? That
Yes, he
she
says that aloud. Like he's pretty much just like having, from what I can guess, like an argument with the little short man. Like the short man's trying to argue, no, she gets off at the next town.
about this time, I'm gonna say, that's why she didn't fight back.
Yeah, I know. And he gives like a sort of solemn look towards the girl and gives like a sad smile. And then turns back to the dwarf.
I will consider changing my mind when she seems useful in combat.
At this point in time, the girl goes up to Michael, and from what you guys can see, like there's a healing aura coming off her hands, and like she touches the back of Michael's neck, and Michael, you can restore the SDC that you lost on your person, which was 7.
Now back to my normal.
And like when she takes her hand away, like the bruises are gone, the stiffness is gone. It's all good.
I'm like, thanks. That felt great.
She very shyly goes, "You're welcome. Thank you for saving me."
Well, we're not really the ones who did the saving, but I did. Guess I did get irritated. It was actually this guy right here that saved you. Me and him just fought off the ogre and managed to slay her.
She gives you both like a nice little bow and goes, "Thank you, thank you."
I'll be irritated in that town for a long time.
Sorry.
I'm gonna have to grow old to the point where all of them are dead.
Or I can just change my face and just scroll back on in.
Do you say this?
Out loud?
No, I don't say this. I would say this.
Okay.
That scared me for a second.
But yeah, like after that, you all like gather around in your little forest camp. You set up a fire, and
I
you
don't
just,
set up a fire
yeah, you.
because I have the materials for it.
So does Ryan. Ryan also has a flint and steel and tinderbox.
That bastard! He lied to me.
He never said that he didn't
I
have
could
camping
do.
equipment.
That's the joke.
I could as well.
But yeah, like so you Frank, you're gonna be the one that sets up the fire, and while you do that, Ryan and the girl,
Don't get too
since you haven't
comfortable.
asked her name yet, are like setting up a tent, and like occasionally as they set up the tent, sorry,
Oh,
as
that's fine. That's
as
fine.
they set up the tent, like you notice how like occasionally like their hands are like grazing each other and stuff.
Okay, I come back with like a pile of firewood. I just look at him and say, "Don't get too comfortable. I haven't changed my mind yet."
And then Ryan
That's
sort of
fine.
just turns to you and goes, "It's really not up to you now, is it?"
Oh, it's very much up to me. No need to be distracted in combat.
Sometimes I wonder who the employer is and who's the employee.
Yeah, you'll get used to it.
He just shakes his head and he turns to the girl and goes, "Here's your tent." And he goes, "Here's your tent, Morgana."
Organa?
Yes,
Did
her
you say
name's
Organa
Morgana.
or Morgana?
Morgana.
Oh. Does he say this loud enough for us to hear?
Mm, roll to see.
Oh, wait. I have a question. When we were at the house when I first met her, did she,
She never
did
told you her name.
I can't remember. Did I say mine?
Yes, you
Yeah,
did.
you said to just call him Bull. Call you Bull. So yeah.
Okay. I say, that's a interesting name. I can't really say much, but
Morgana sort of just like shyly just turns away from you and goes into her tent, and Ryan gives you a slight glare as he starts to set up his own
what do
next
I
to
call that?
Morgana's. Well, since we're going off of like medieval cultures here, like she hasn't really told you her name yet, so I know that you didn't like really address her by name, but like she really didn't appreciate like the whole familiar way that you addressed her,
Okay.
and neither did Ryan at all.
Well, he is
Okay.
nice, so it's not that unkind.
Yeah.
Nasty.
I mean, they don't know I'm an assassin yet, so I mean,
Yeah, no one knows. In fact, I think this is the first time that the people watching the video have heard that you're an assassin.
perhaps sooner or later eventually.
But yeah, like you guys set up your tents, you eat dinner for the night, and throughout the night, Ryan and Morgana are a little flirtatious and stuff. And we'll close it there.
When setting up my tent, I want to be a
Oh,
distance away
also,
from them.
Okay.
I don't set up a tent because I don't have one, and I
Oh.
take
I do
mine all
offer,
night.
I do offer that.
I take my bedroll, and that's it. And I take all night watch.
Okay. In case you didn't know, the reason why Ryan had a second tent was because he actually purchased it while you guys were in town for you.
Oh, cool.
But then,
Now
like,
I know.
they saved the lady, so the lady got the tent.
For now,
But
things
yeah,
will change in the future.
um, yes, I know you're very against having a female healer on the team,
No, it's not that. It's
who is a possible romance interest for the NPC character.
yeah. I
Interesting.
don't need our second backup to be distracted.
Well, what? He is royalty, and for all you know, this girl could also be royalty.
Exactly.
A royal witch. Hmm.
A royal mage.
She's a female mage, which is just a term used for female mages. There is a witch class. I'll have that known, but like I don't mean to mix it up. It's just like I don't want to just go female mage.
Could just call her a mage.
I know, but like mage just sounds masculine.
Sure does sound masculine.
Feminist.
Because it's always been used masculine. Yeah, masculinized.
Yeah. So yeah, like you all like settle down for the night. The guards haven't pursued you.
Yet.
No, like they've chased you for about a mile and like stopped.
Wow. Well, they are city guards. Can't expect too much from them.
Yeah.
Alright. So yeah, I will take all night watch.
And you're gonna stay up all night?
Yep.
Okay. Um
I like watching the stars. It's always pretty, aren't they?
well, you're gonna pretty much be pretty tired tomorrow morning.
Exactly.
So -1 to all rolls
Okay.
and -10 to skill rolls.
Okay.
Well, +10 because you have to get above. So like if you have to roll a 45 for something,
I know. I get it.
it's you
All my
add 10
thresholds.
to your roll.
Well, I know. All my thresholds are reduced by 10.
Yeah.
So if I have to roll 35%, I have to roll 25%.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand.
I was just making sure.
Yeah, I forged a system, remember?
I just have to find a way of like penalizing you for staying up all night.
Yeah, we know.
But
Be fun.
yeah,
Be
so
fun. I'll be
that's
twisted.
that's the end of the session
Okay.
Okay.
because it's approaching 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So yeah, um, well, guys, that's the end of it. It might have been a little rusty, but this has been Gaber Turagi and Broke Ass Gamers and
His name is Shafto in the chat.
Shafto. Yeah,
Well, it's not really. It's just the channel name.
yeah. He hasn't posted anything yet.
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 Call him
So
Frankie for short. I'm just kidding.
I'm trying to do my outro. So yeah, until next time. Bye bye.